Welcome to Wheel Strategy Tools. This is a companion video for the article An Introduction to the Wheel Strategy on wheelstrategytools.com that shows how to recreate the simulation referenced in the article. There's a link below to the article itself. For a more general introduction to Wheel Strategy Tools, please see the article section on the site. Past returns, such as those shown in this video, are no guarantee of future results. Also, the example shown in this video was cherry-picked to keep the scenario short, as well as illustrating some of the potential pitfalls of the wheel, particularly in the short term. Please read the article for more details. We are going to run a simulation which answers the question, what if we had used the wheel strategy on a particular basket of stocks or ETFs at some point in the past? Running a simulation requires two things. First, you must pick a basket of stocks and/or ETFs to define the things you want to invest in. Normally, you'd select a set of high-quality stocks or ETFs that can hold up under difficult conditions, just as you would for a buy-and-hold portfolio. Next, you set up simulation parameters, which we'll get to in a minute. To start, click on the Baskets tab at the top. You'll be prompted to log in if you haven't already. If you don't have an account, click on Create Account and follow the sign-up process. For this example, I'm going to define a basket that has just one ETF in it, SPY, which is an S&P 500 index ETF. Click on the drop-down and select New Basket. Give the basket a name. Click the plus sign to add tickers to the basket and start typing the ticker symbol. Hit Return or select the correct ticker from the list that's displayed. You've now defined a basket that we'll use in a simulation. Although this example only includes one ETF, you can include up to 400 stocks or ETFs in a single basket. Next, click on the Simulate tab at the top. A simulation scenario is defined by a basket of stocks or ETFs, a starting account configuration, and a set of parameters. We're going to create a new scenario, but if you had already created one or more scenarios, they would be available in the drop-down. To create a new scenario, click on the drop-down box and select New Scenario. Give the scenario a name and hit Return or the green upload icon on the right. The first step in defining a scenario is to create a starting account position. This is the set of cash, options, and stocks or ETFs that the scenario begins with. For this example, we're going to define a single account that has $45,000 in cash in it. Just to make sure that there's no confusion, wheelstrategytools.com isn't a broker, and putting money into an account, whether in a simulation or in the trade section, doesn't directly cause any money to be created or to go anywhere. What Wheel Strategy Tools provides is a tracking mechanism for the assets that you devote to the wheel strategy. The only time that modifying accounts will affect your assets is if you act on the suggestion in the trade page by going to your broker and entering orders. Now, click on the Scenario Initial Conditions drop-down. Click on the plus sign by accounts. Give the account a name. Here we'll choose Account 1 and click Add Account. The account starts with no cash, stocks, or options in it. Let's add some cash. From the drop-down, select Deposited Cash. Type $45,000 and select Accept. Note that the balance in the account is now $45,000. Close the initial condition and open the scenario parameters and policies. In this box, you'll select a basket, a time range for the simulation described by the scenario, the fee structure of your brokerage, and select how you want to diversify your purchases across the stocks or ETFs in the basket. An in-depth examination of the parameters is available in an article at wheelstrategytools.com. We're going to create a scenario that goes with the example in the article. Select the basket we created as the basket. Select the begin and end dates for the scenario that were used in the companion article. It's October 31st, 2022 for the start date, November 11th, 2022 for the end date. Tell the system that there's a fixed 65-cent fee per contract bought or sold. Since there's only one symbol in the basket, the diversification constraints aren't necessary for this scenario. But in a real-world scenario with multiple stocks or ETFs in your portfolio, these constraints will keep your investments diversified according to the policy that you select. Close the parameters and policies and open the Scenario Results section. Click the Run Scenario button. As the scenario runs, it will tell you what data it's working on, approximately the amount of time that has elapsed, and show you a summary of the results so far. Further down on the page, it will show the option and stock or ETF positions as they open and close during the course of the simulation. When the simulation is finished, the spinning wheel will disappear and the header for scenario results will say computation complete. The summary will show the premiums that would have resulted from selling put and call options, as well as the capital gain or loss at any given point in the simulation that comes from holding stocks or ETFs because of put option assignments. It also shows the fees that have been paid based on the fee structure information that you entered in the scenario parameters and the annualized return. The annualized return is the percentage return that would result if you could have repeated the scenario over and over again for an entire year. It's there so that you can compare the rate of return of a scenario with other investment choices. After the scenario is completed, you can look at the detailed transactions by clicking the green T next to the word summary. This will show you exactly what was bought and sold during the course of the scenario and how much each transaction cost or yielded. Note that it launched a new tab, so to get back to the scenario we need to pick the original tab. Likewise, we can click the green P to see a list of the positions. This is basically the same information that is shown on the position history on the simulation result page. However, by clicking on the download symbol on either the transactions or positions detail pages, you can download the transactions or positions as a CSV file. The CSV file will contain a few more details than the table you see on the site, mostly the position and transaction IDs that you can use to unambiguously verify the results for yourself if you so desire. You can change the parameters or starting conditions and run a different scenario. However, the site will contain the results for only the most recently run scenario. If you want to preserve the results of your scenario, you'll need to download the transactions and positions as CSV files. If you initiate a new scenario run before one that's in progress finishes, the in progress run will be aborted before the new one starts. I encourage you to try out some scenarios of your own with stocks or ETFs that you might use with the wheel strategy. If you want to actually make money using the site, you'll need to subscribe and use the trade section. There is an article and video that will lead you through doing trades in the article section of the site. Thank you for listening and for your interest in wheelstrategytools.com.